all our dear viewers. This is Theatre Sport, and we are streaming in every Wednesday, 2 p.m. I'm the host, Queen Lucky Luck, alongside my team, MC McDonald with Babangobi. But for today, we are going to discuss about theatre conservation. Into that, before we go into how to conserve our theatres, we would like to know the throwback of our theatres, those which are still into existence, and how to conserve them. Because in the early forms of theatre, it was all basically about storytelling, miracle performing in churches, which led later in the long run transforming into a realistic way in the communities of confirming and bringing up the information. So for now, let's start with different regions. The central region or the eastern region?
Any.
Okay.
Any.
Mr. McDonald with the central part.
Okay. Thank you for this opportunity. It's MC McDonald, the seventh son, an actor who is the Legends of Theatre Association. And before I go any further, allow me congratulate all our viewers and our fans who came through to our show. We had of recent, which is Badiane Nsekezi, The Hypocrites, at the National Theatre. Big shout out to you, all my fans, and let's keep it burning. Very soon we shall be coming to the Bat Valley Theatre. Yeah, personally, as I've been given a chance, allow me handle the central region, and we see how theatre we had so far. Some of the theatres that we had in the central region, those ones that are on the international level, that are good for anything that means theatre. We have the National Theatre, of which I told you recently it was opened up in 1959.
Okay.
It was December. We have also La Bonita, Theatre La Bonita, here just next to Christ the King. We have Bat Valley Theatre. Those are mainly the three theatres we do.
Are they the same theatres which existed back in the days?
They have been around for years, yeah, till now. Then also we had those ones that might have not been at the level of those to the national level or the international one. Like the theatre, we had the one for Biwologoma.
Biwologoma.
Where we had the man Musajja yatela ngo kozesa okuzanya nga azanya n'embuzi ye. Najja, he used to fill the hall.
That's why it was called Biwologoma, because
it's fortunate nga really, because as per now, mu area yo yonna tuyitawo Biwologoma.
Okay.
Bayina ne police station.
Then the theatre neyitibwa Biwologoma.
Nga bagiyita Biwologoma is a description. We had Pride Theatre. Pride Theatre kati nga bw'ogigendako bw'obeera oyambise ku Namirembe Road awo n'omalayo. Essaawa zino gy'eri nayo. Naye nga kati tekyakola nga theatre. Naye yaliwo yafuuka church. Yafuuka church.
Setting ya theatre teyabakosa abagisamu church.
Yakosa art as in general, but nanyini theatre kisoboka obbanga tekyakola ki tekyamukosa. Twalinawo gye bayita Riverside Theatre. Yabeeranga ku ends eyo mu Watseka. Naye kati tekyaliwo. Basaawo kizimbe ekye MTN oba.
Nate mpulira Riverside gundi bo bakyaliyo the Riversides.
Amanya gyegali like the group's formation, but mainly if we are to talk about the theatre yonga yo yakola ki yavaawo, because aba Black Pearls n'abalala mwe bateranga okuzanyira olumu. Riverside Theatre.
Ba Black Pearls simwe mwava Riversides.
Passively.
Okay.
So theatres nyingi ezibaddewo, but dominantly theatres eziri ku mutindo gwe tugamba that eziri waggulu eyo nga zisobola okukola buli kimu. Mu Uganda theatre esinga okuba ng'eri up to that level esobola ovuganya internationally, it is the National Theatre.
Okay.
Neera okuva edda ng'abasigadde bonna regions zonna bakola.
How many seats waka tuline ku wide
capacity yayo etuuza abantu 377. 377, yes. Ye namba y'abantu abatuula nga towaze ba amadaala na bikingo baze just bantu batuula. Naye ab'amadaala obeera obabaze nga bwe bagitundanga. Anti mubaamu emizannyo egyajjulanga. Ng'ate omuntu yagamba nze njagala yingira oba wonna we neenyiga. ng'esobola okubejjuza abantu ebina. Then ng'eyina ebisigadde theatre beyinza okwetaaga bwe zibeera lights, bwe zibeera curtains eziri automatic. Ebiina byonna balina amataala agasobola okukola enkuba, agasobola okukola omusana, ekitali ku some of the theatres. So National Theatre yabanga level ey'okwegeraageranyaako nga bw'ogamba mbu twazanyanga PE nga tulina olupimo we tugenda ffenna ne tugamba this is the panel we tujja okuba nga batupimira okulaba ani nga National Theatre kojja neera ng'okuzannyirako kintu kyamaanyi nnyo neera buli omu ng'agamba ndi obeera ku National Theatre nga in a year ne wobaawo ne performance emu people used the groups, different groups as art ng'okolera kugenda kutuukawo ku National Theatre ogere ng'ozannya. So kati National Theatre yo eri mu kiti kyayo. Then kati nkunyonyodde endala theatres ezikola ki eziddirirawo. La Bonita is also good, esobola okuweta theatre. Then also Bat Valley Theatre nayo nnungi. Yeah. Kati wabangawo theatres nga bwolaba Namulondo Theatre yabanga bweyogerere. I don't think ekyakola.
No, it's no longer functioning.
Tekyakola kuba
if you look at it, the way it is right now, is it a bar? It sounds like it's a, like, looks like
it was made in a hall because hall form
most of the theatres.
You see, for my side, I believe you can only conserve what you have in the place. Regarding my place in Jinja or Busoga sub-region where I come from, the theatre started, like you said, started way back from our traditions. It came to pre-colonial theatre, where it included our rituals, singing, music and dance drama, and then eventually to formal theatre.
Yes.
That's when the whites or our colonial masters tried to teach our people how to get into theatre. And now it was developed in schools mostly. But when the people or the children in schools were taught theatre and enjoyed and understood what theatre could be and could bring an impact to their society, when they came to the society, they joined the community, they failed to make it because there were no structures in place, real structures in place.
Meaning they just needed to be sponsored. What was the main issue? Why they could not grow the thing they taught them from school to the community?
Not necessarily being sponsored, but I think it was lack of political will. Because the people in place, the people who make policies, in most cases they are politicians. When they fail, then the people can come together to maneuver, to find a way of maybe pushing what they feel like they want. But it is lack of political will. Unfortunately, my friend was still explaining. But if
about
you
Namulondo
Theatre, that's when I bumped in. But I think I can build from that point.
Meaning Namulondo Theatre, it's just it's now a bar. It's now meaning it can still work.
Yeah,
as
most of the theatres, as per now, they are no longer in existence. If we were to count the number of theatres we had within Kampala, there were many.
Now
I've told you those ones that were top notch, they were just counted on the fingers. But the National Theatre was exceptional.
Yeah.
As the National Theatre. And the rest of the theatres, people could get like a hall and you begin your theatre. Because also I remember Mami Christopher Mchibi had a theatre around in Namasuba side. But most of the people, what they were doing, you get a hall, you start, because the start is good. Those are the theatres, some of them that I can talk about that we had within the central. Because also Lugazi, they have a hall, but it is not under standard like the National Theatre or Theatre La Bonita. Or let's talk about the Bat Valley Theatre. Yeah, those are some of the theatres I can talk about.
Now,
okay.
For the eastern side.
For the eastern side,
you have handled over the central part.
He has handled the central part. You know, central part is where you find the capital city. So everybody is struggling to get to what the best or where the best is.
Strategically located.
Yes, where things are strategically located. But as I've explained before, you can only conserve what you have.
Definitely.
For matters of Jinja, there were halls. Of course, besides social groups or groups which engaged in drama and whatsoever, there were no real structures in place, built purposely for theatre. People used to go to Jinja Town Hall, but it wasn't designed for theatre. It was designed as a hall which could house any gathering or any other group, could house a party, anything, a meeting, something like that.
Yeah.
It wasn't put in place purposely for theater work. And that was the largest or the biggest point where people could go to watch drama. In addition to that, people used to share places from, Victoria Nile. I remember very well Victoria Nile Primary School. This is a hall that belonged to a primary school where there were limitations. You cannot. It is a school whereby you cannot go there as villagers or people or the community at any time, any point of time, wherever you want to have a function there.
All the issue was about sometimes they do tend to say that artists do turn up to be vulgar, being that it's a school for some work of the artist work, it's not necessary.
It's not that in that case. You see, in a theater, like I told you way back, we used to look at pre-colonial theater, where we had our rituals.
Yeah.
You know, rituals bring together a number of issues.
Definitely.
With the so-called vulgar things inclusive. But when it comes to theater, and they say only 18 above, you know what they are going to bring. You see? So whoever goes into theater expects to have something, and they tell you leave your child behind.
Okay.
Because they have packaged something purposely for the adults. But you know,
what's the main reason which led that it's a school they do not allow into the theater work?
It's not that they did not allow, but it has been put in place for the school, for the children. You see, myself, I told you, I started drama well way back when I was still a young boy. And we had the competitions right from our schools, from houses and like classes to houses, and then eventually to
Bango,
yeah.
If I can give you some info. Why the school could not easily be accessible for the artist?
Yes.
It is that the school has its schedule, and you artist also, you have your own schedule.
That's where I was coming.
That's why if the school is having, like they are saying, for us we are to run the school from this time up this time, you might not be able to access the school.
Meaning it was the main
that's
issue.
why I'm told you can only conserve what you have. You see, from school we used to have from zonal competitions. We could go to regional competitions, and the schools were comfortable.
After regional competitions,
then you are heading to
national.
Actually, the very first time I reached the National Theatre, I was excited. It still sticks in my brain. It's in my memory. I remember the very first time I came to the National Theatre, and it is an inspiration to me. So what I'm trying to say.
First wait before, as in from the normal competitions to the regional.
Yes.
Then the regional bumps you to the National Theatre.
Yes, like there was a censure system whereby you are censored from the beginning, and whoever comes to the National Theatre is the best. Right from our villages and our schools, we are struggling to make it the national to the national level.
Theatre.
You understand? But when you get to Jinja, Obusoga sub-region and the neighboring districts, you find that there was no theatre. And I believe it was just a lack of political will. The policies in the place, they did not cater for the artist. They did not cater for the actor.
Can we assume that it was really lack of good political will? Or was still the same, it goes back to you, the people, who do support? Because if you members you supported, I think it would have been better.
Do you believe that if for the country to grow, you look at what the people need or what the people are yearning for is what you develop?
Yeah.
Do you know why Nigeria sounds or looks to be much more better in art than we? It's because the government has tried to facilitate art, because they have realized that art is going to help in one way or the other in terms of unemployment and in all sectors. You see, if you are conserving, you know, we are talking about conserving.
Meaning Nigerian government do support art a lot.
According to the information I have, they support art more than any other country on the African continent.
Okay.
And if you have to conserve anything, like you are conserving the traditions, our beliefs and whatsoever, then you have to go through theater. Because theater is the mirror through which you see the behavior of people. And through theater is where you can teach the people whatever you want to teach them. Because in theater will control the media, and people are very much interested in knowing what the media is saying. So if you are developing theater positively, then you are going to have a better communication with the mass.
And now, Kanti, did you have any titled theater in Jinja? Basically, is it currently still operating?
No. don't talk about the
It
theater
wasn't
in
a
Jinja.
theater.
Talk about a hall.
Okay. Did you have
In
an
other
acting
terms,
hall?
in other terms, if you say a hall, it may refer to a theater. I don't know.
Definitely.
But there was no theater. There was no place designed or built as a theater.
And
the way the
now-
National Theater looks like.
And now, do you still have the hall into existence, operating as a theater?
You see, you can only conserve what you have. Because from the schools, whoever tried to put up a place as a hall to house drama, he or she put it in place for matters of business. So when he or she realized no profits, he could easily turn that place into any other thing, either a church, but like in Jinja, you can find there are very many churches operating in those places which used to be halls.
And it's like back in the days, it was all about
Some
churches.
info. For me, I'll give my view. It will be way different from the one of Wabangobi. Because if we are saying a hall,
Is it still
last time I
existing?
was explaining what is theater.
Yes.
We have theater, the venue,
And the
and
people.
theater as the people who make up
The
theater,
audience
as we
also.
see the church. We could say Jinja had theaters, which is terming as halls, same as Kampala. Most of the theaters were just what? Near halls.
Yes.
But by the regards that you are exhibiting art and you are doing theatrical things, it turns out to be a theater. So let's look at them as theater. You get it? As theater. Then we subject them. Are they still there? Or
Yeah.
they are
Okay,
They
point
they
of
dismissed.
information. Point of
Now,
information.
just what we could say, they were substandard.
Okay, let me first go beyond the Jinja. There's a place in Iganga. It used to be called the Busoga Cultural Heritage Center. You see, these places are put in place, like I've explained it before. It is a hall whereby if the owner realizes no profits, he is going to put it down or change it into something else. You understand? If you have been gathering at the National Theatre and then you eventually you find the National Theatre is no more, you understand? It may be hard for you to bring yourselves together
Back
again.
to National
You
Theatre.
understand? Not National Theatre necessarily.
As
To
in a
put,
theatre.
because you scatter and every group finds a place for rehearsals and you don't have a gathering ground. You
And
understand?
when you do classify into every group changes its way,
It's venue.
its venue.
Okay.
It means it's termed as in it's being a way of bringing up different theaters. Because you have created your own theater.
Yes.
I have created my own theater, and he also. And we're not creating much more theaters.
No,
Because we now
not
have
in that.
had one
I,
theatre.
I don't want to bring it in that line. You see, you can create as many as you can, but the most important part of it, you know, when there is a censure system, it brings quality of work.
Okay.
When there is a censure system, it brings quality of work. That is one point. You see, government governs everything. When there is a policy in place, and there is a place where you go to seek resources, like a resource center, like you come to the National Theatre, they can explain it to you where theatre started, who have been leading in theatre, who like you find the producers at the National Theatre, you
Definitely.
great writers there.
I understand.
That resource center, that resource center is where you go to learn more about what? Theatre.
Theatre.
If that place is not there, then you will have nowhere to run, even when you want to know.
Now, what you would like to term it as in Ibusoga and Jinja, there is no acting because they don't have theaters. They no longer have the halls.
The halls are there, but the theater itself has collapsed because it has been taken up by something else. What people enjoy or what they refer to.
What do they refer to?
They have run into music, the so-called music, like the music they have picked from other cultures. Our culture music is there, but there's no place whereby you can go to learn about where we are coming from. You know what I'm trying to explain? A school is there with its hall. It will be there for the next 10, 100 years because it has been built as a school. But a hall for the public, for the community, is not there. Why? In Jinja, like when I was growing up, we had places like Dingoes, Town Talkies.
The what?
Dingoes was the place whereby people used to go for cinema. Town Talkies. People used to go there and they used to enjoy cinema. like you go and watch the latest movie. You understand? But these places belonged to people. Now you find like the place is no more. It's not functioning like before, like it used to be, simply because when the owner realized no profits at one point, he changed the type of business and he switched to another business so that he or she can realize profits. But now if a theater has been put in place with the by the policymakers, with the rules and regulations governing it, and it is a theater, all efforts shall be put in place to maintain it and to maintain the values of that place.
I would like, for my perspective, the way I do know theater is all about, in my perspective, it's all about audience, the space, and the artists. It's the same thing. If they do sing into that space, it's still a theater. I've not been
to America, but at least I had a conversation with someone who lives in America. He told me that there is a street, I don't know where, I don't remember exactly where, whereby you find there are theaters just in line. Like you, let me just give an example of the industrial area here in 6th Street or 7th Street.
They are all
Can you assume? Just imagine, you get to 6th Street, and from the beginning of 6th Street, all that place is filled with the theaters. You understand? That place has been.
It tends up to be too much.
It isn't too much because, like in Uganda, how many writers do you have? Playwrights do you have? Playwrights do you have?
Very many.
There are very many.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Each and every person may enjoy a different writer. Can you realize that I may be a follower of somebody's content, and then you may be a follower of another person's content. So when your person is showing in a different hall, and my person is also showing from a different hall, then each of us will have a place to go and watch.
Meaning for you also that people from the Ginger side, you also relate to the Central side?
Everybody is struggling to come to the Central side. Let me give you another example. We always have cultural functions, small cultural functions. But you know, when you get people from Makerere, the students from Makerere and from Busoga, you find them renting Bati Valley Theatre to go and have their small function there. Why can't they take it in Ginger? It's because they have not built the audience there. You understand?
Language barrier.
They have not built the audience
What
there.
I can say for the audience is not mainly the problem, because also we still have supporters from those other regions. But the problem could be the structure, as we said. If you want something that is professional, or you are looking at the stage lights and something that is super dope quality,
you have to be.
You might you run out of options, and all you have to do to come to Kampala and access them. That's why you see most of the artists and so on come to Kampala, because it is hectic to say. Because if you are looking for the best producers, if you are looking for anything artistic that is quality, you'll find it in urban setting. That's why you find most of the artists, they keep on coming to Kampala. But for the audience, you can still build with that audience, because you see these people who are already established within Kampala. For them, they go to Masaka for tours, they go to other rural areas.
My dear brother, you've been to Ginger SS.
Yeah, I've been there.
They have a very good hall, big as it is. But if you are to take there a function or a theatrical show, you have to take it for the students. You can't take it for the community. You know what I'm trying to talk about?
Yeah.
So if there is a place that
because it is a school.
It is a school. Yeah. You understand? So if you have to go to Victoria Nile, then you have to take it for the school. If you are taking it for the community, then you are making a mistake.
What I would say, a minute. What I would say on that, if you can take it for the community, the hindrance could be, or the challenge could be, it reduces on your creativity. Exactly. And at times, you could want things to look more real, because theater is a meal.
And you do invite the audience into the school?
They have always been inviting them, but it limits on your creativity. Or at times, you have to say, like, you have to do more work to show something that is visible. Yet, if you have more technology, some things you can use technology, and you see and you find that artists, you are not trained. it reduces on your creativity. That's what I will say.
Okay.
You see,
Yeah.
so we are talking about conservation. You can only conserve what you have. If you didn't put anything in place, you can't conserve it. We talked about the tradition. Our tradition to our ritual performances, that was pre-colonial theatre. When we came to formal theatre, definitely policymakers could have put places or structures in place to facilitate the development of what? Theatre. For my case, I don't know. I should advocate for regional development or regional theatre development. Because I think for Busoga Sabri, because it is one other area or one other group of...
And now in that term, meaning, because for my side, it's like, if it's Busoga, if I'm a Musoga, I'm in another tribe, how can I be able to showcase my work into the National Theatre, being that it's this side? Doesn't it move my audience off or whatever?
It has never limited anyone from any other region, because we see people who come from other regions to showcase. It has never.
Issue.
That's why it is called the National Theatre.
You see,
However much it is now termed as
UNCC, Uganda National Culture Center.
So, but it doesn't limit anyone from any tribe. That's
and
why.
in addition to that, you see, the way they named it the National Theatre, it was the spring. It's where you have top quality. So when there is a census system, you struggle to come from wherever, Masaka, you struggle to come from Umbale, you struggle to come from Guru, Leader, so that you reach the National Theatre. So that when you get the National Theatre, it means you have top what? Top quality. You understand?
And now to go to Mr. MC, for your side, it's like you don't know much about the theatre. The central part, how is it performing? Is it performing as in the past days or?
Things so far, they have changed, because the theatre performing, we could talk about the quality of play. But now, people and artists, I could say artists in general, we put more work in doing quality work. But the audience we appeal to doesn't turn up.
What's the main
Whereby,
issue? Why?
if you don't have enough audience, it limits those people who have the talented ones. Because you're having responsibility. There is no way you can come and say that I'm going to be acting.
Before you go any more further, how was National Theatre performing back in the days?
They used to do what? The box was filled always. You
Full
could find,
house.
yes, you could have a full house at least. Most of the plays, people could compete, and you could hear, hey, this play, 30 years old banana has broken the entire box office. We don't have anything. Like more tickets. The ticket they could be bought like a week before. Reaching on the play, you already know the sales. But as per now, artists can't play on an empty stomach. You can't expect such. That's why we are losing the quality of talented people.
Artists of those
Diverting
days were
to
playing
other-
on an empty stomach.
For them, they had people. And once you have people, it turns out to the economical what? The economical
economic
aspect.
side.
Yes, because they will bring money.
And by the way, I would like also to ask about this thing. How did people be able to showcase the same play for a full month? How did people be able to turn up?
Because art, one of the things, people weren't using vulgar. You know, they weren't using vulgar. And it wasn't just entirely comedy. They were using edutainment, what we call edutainment. They were entertaining people. You are entertained as well as you are learning. So it keeps somebody saying, I must be at the theater to watch the same thing. And at times, they made things hard for you to understand, not spoon feeding you like now people do.
I have to understand the next month when I come back.
At times, you could not even understand.
Am I
Betwita
enjoying?
obwongo obutono. Olina okulowooza ennyo beyond your understanding okutegeera omusajja ki kyakola ki kyategeeza. But as per now, ekisinza otuttanga ffe theatre. You are feeding somebody with entire everything ng'akitegeererawo. Atuuka nga talina nsonga lwaki I come back to watch
Meaning
the
it
same play.
goes to the artists. They have brought the declare of the audience to be down. So
We can't say artist alone.
You do spoon
Because
feed them.
artists, it is just one core value on how we can make people turn up in the theater. But we have several other factors that lead to low turn up. You look at the policies that are being made, whereby you look at, as per now, as theater, we are facing a problem of sponsors. You can hardly get any sponsor to come at your show.
Before we go into that, as in your perspective, the point you had.
You see, in my perception, you see, we are discussing awareness. Conservation.
Yeah.
Conservation, but conservation moves in line with awareness.
Still the same thing.
You understand? You see, culture is wealth. And previously, whatever was brought in theater was based on our culture. When you develop the culture, you develop it, you give it the people in relation to other cultures.
But now people are relying to go international.
That's what I'm trying. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Previously, you know, theater, like I told you, it is a theatrical place, just like a lesson. It is a mirror through which you see.
You convey the message behind.
You convey the message behind, and besides that, is a mirror through which you see the behaviors of people. So people used to flock to the theater because of the quality of work. They were aware that when you go to the theater, you're going to learn.
Yeah.
Besides learning, you're going to know what is happening in other areas. For example, they could put a mixture of cultures on the same stage, and they teach you what happened or what happens in Buganda and in relation to other areas. You understand what I'm talking about? So people were flocking to the theater because they knew that there is a lot to learn there. They are going to learn and enjoy. They are going to be entertained and learn. So let me give just something. Me, when I was a young boy, we visited the palace in Bugembe, the Kyabazinga's palace. And I saw that instrument called the magwara.
What is it?
They are big like this. They blow.
How is it operated?
Of course, I can't explain because you just blow like this and they produce a very loud sound. You understand? I saw them when I was a young boy, and the next time I saw them is when the Kyabazinga was wedding. You understand? That means there's no... if the theater was there, if seriously the theater was there, that's a place where you could go.
They would have been using it in the theater.
Yes, because they are trying to develop that culture.
Yeah, okay.
And if at all you wanted your child to know something, then you could take him to the theater.
You know the magwara.
So that not only the magwara, there are so many instruments there and whatsoever.
Yeah.
But now, there is no theater. Or let me say theater has collapsed. What does it mean? Even with the actors, the quality of work we produce, is not up to what standard. We have left our culture and we are rushing or we are running.
We would like to go digitalized. Everything is moving.
What can't you take digital? Because if even the people in the European countries, they want to know you. You are struggling to know them, but they want to know you. You understand?
And the issue could be, because if you want to go to international scene, what are you selling?
Exactly.
And people are looking at what is unique about what you are selling.
Exactly.
Because you can't sell to them what already they have. Meaning you must take something that they don't have, that they will be learning.
I would like to know what has really made the numbers to go down of the audience number.
Yeah, the number for the audience or the theaters?
The audience so far. Because the audience has led to the number of theaters to go down.
Let me bring it this way. I told you are alone. When there is no place for gathering, you cannot brainstorm. You understand?
If you don't gather, you won't be...
There were very many social communities in Ijinja, all drama groups, very many. But because they lacked somewhere, you see, a place where they could get together and find a way, then there is no way they could market their products.
Okay, with that, I do understand that side. And now what's the thing with the same side of the National Theatre, the other theatres operating? Why do they get the turn-up to be full as it has to be?
As per now, the mode of advertising changed.
Okay.
Whereby most of the groups are being led by...
How did they advertise back in the days?
Way back, they had one national TV. That is UTV. They had like one radio. Whereby if you could advertise and you have your advert running over those platforms.
Is watching
everyone
one TV station
automatically. So whereby as per now, people's minds are diverted to different things.
Okay.
There is social media. There is we have also very many television stations whereby we could also be using them. But I could like to say that the televisions have done us more harm. Besides this Pearl Magic, plus also like the Makula side, most of the televisions aren't giving space to actors or theater in general. You could find every television station has time.
How have they affected the advertisement side? Being that there are so many, it would have been so good.
It's not the problem there being many, because it is an advantage. Because every television station has its viewers. But they haven't also played a part in helping art. I could say bagalo kole ebyangu, whereby you could find them, they are showing showbiz, gundi yarwanye ne gundi. Whereby we have people abagenda okuba nga balaga omuzannyo gw'amaanyi, which is a good play. But you find people saying, katugende ku mboozi ya gundi yarwanye nani?
Meaning kiri kigenderayo.
Bagala ebyangu, they don't want things. They do things that they see that there is. Two, we look at the policies. The policies aren't in our favor as artists. Because as per now, we could be with a full, we could be legalized as a full industry. And we have a ministry. We have money from the budget, not us being under Ministry of Gender or Ministry of Culture. You get it? We shouldn't be under those ones. We could be a full industry.
Because as per now, we can helps you in the saving. Doesn't it affect?
It can't affect, because if money is passed in the budget, like they are to build more theaters, they are the education system. They'll bring it back to the education system. Before they build, you should
still
put them.
Have these theaters which we would like to see a full house on a regular basis. How can it be done?
Are they on an international level? Look at now the National Theatre since it was built. Look at its in renovation. Can it compete with other countries? Because you are saying, can it compete? And people are looking at people's art on other countries that are neighboring to us, and they look at their art. It is way better because perhaps they're having good technology. The infrastructures are well developed. Way back, I can take you to the movie industry. Way back, we used to do our movies showing Dogorioka and such things. People were in such things.
Yeah.
But when the Nigerians showed us a way, you looked at the houses they were using, and people were looking for quality. They left our thing. Dogo, Sambo, and so on. They went to what they were seeing. This one, it is possible. They saw the quality. Let it be you. The guy is showing that I'm rich, he's driving an expensive car. Definitely. And for you are showing the rich guy is also driving a tuk-tuk. Can it compare? You compare the two. So the industry also will lack the infrastructures. Because if the infrastructures are well set in different regions, it brings you to the national level. Because you are setting from all regions. I can give you an example. Because you can't say we can rely on one theater.
For the first thing,
we need to build from all regions. That is one.
For the first thing, we already have a theater. How can we be able to conserve it? That's my main point. We would like to know how to
conserving them. Yeah, firstly,
the thing
it should be an entity for artists. When it is in the hands of artists, not for just an individual. Because if it's an individual, you can easily see this business is no longer profitable. Why don't I go, I make a mall in my place. Why don't I build a building and I get tenants?
You're right.
Meaning
so it should be in the hands of artists.
Charity.
It is not charity.
It's not charity.
We give back.
It's not
what is the instance for the government? The government has to provide such things.
Let me clarify on this. You see, don't say it's charity. Like I told you, policymakers, the influencers, they influence everything. Where a policymaker puts his or her effort is where the public or the mass will run to. You understand? Like I told you before, since there was no will from the policy makers to develop theatre, it is an indicator to the mass that that sector is either useless or not important enough to the community. You understand? Me, I visited the National Theatre way back in 99. I was a very small boy.
It was of quality by then.
Very good. And we were yearning to be here. You understand? I visit the National Theatre almost daily.
Meaning for him, he got an opportunity of seeing National Theatre with...
It was soundproof. Right now, it is no longer soundproof.
Hey,
you understand?
I really do not know.
That's what I'm trying to explain. It is not because of charity. We are not looking at charity like you are putting.
And government, and you should not state it like government is just doing us a favor. Because as they are swearing in, they say, we shall do this and this. And one of the sectors now they should be looking at in Uganda, where we have a lot of unemployment. Because if you look at the youth, we make almost 70%, and most of the youth are unemployed. But we have talented people. What can you do to help those talented people in this era whereby even we have social media?
When you speak about that, and the youth not the lazy people?
Lazy in what? Can you say somebody is lazy? Because one of the things, if you are to start a business, you must be with capital. Any coin, we call it capital. 2, you must be knowledgeable about what you're going to do. The youth are well trained. That's why you go to campus. Somebody graduates, comes out, tries out to search for a job, he fails to get any. And you say somebody is not hardworking, they start businesses, the taxes are high.
Yeah.
But why don't we bless those people who are already talented? Because just imagine, one actor can be feeding several people.
Now,
like I'm feeding somebody who's dressing me. You get it? I do eat. I do travel. Meaning those people who are into transit. We use buses. We use vehicles.
Now, as you an actor, how can they help you to conserve the theatre? Because now it goes into the artists to be helped out.
That's what I was explaining. I said, firstly, they should give all the theatres into our hands as artists. Or if we are, they should, the title plus so on for the land where the theatre is should be in the what? In the names of artists.
And now it's
no one should hold it as a single person is what? Entity. 2, policies should come policies that help us.
Mr. MC, you all know it. I'm Mr. Majid against me. But if it's like everybody are in charge, we'll be able to.
It doesn't mean when I said I give it to the artist. It doesn't mean that.
You see, there's something I wanted you to.
That policies.
There's something I
let me enlighten on this one. When I say they write the title in the names of artists, it doesn't mean that they have given it to all artists.
Okay.
We already have people who are managing.
Okay.
But that one prevents somebody to say that I personally tomorrow I can sell it because it is mine.
To send you off.
But we are all entitled to it as artists. That's what I'm trying to mean. And also the policies, we should look at policies that help artists. Look at, I said recently about social media. Yeah? We do advertise over social media. Make data too cheap for us to advertise, and also people to view us. They can use it smoothly without any fear.
It's also another part of conserving that.
You are conserving it because I'm earning. If I'm earning, I can't remove something where I'm earning.
Okay.
I will automatically preserve
you
it.
Push it.
Yes.
And for the side of Mr. Baba.
You don't now. My cry is to the policy makers. You don't facilitate a sector, you are suffocating it. For a reason. You understand? Either negative or positive. Do you realize that before China went very much into manufacturing, it first sold it outside. It sold the art outside.
Jack Chan.
And whatsoever. Do you realize that America invested immensely in art? You know, that is a component of theater. It is from theater to the field and whatsoever, into the camera. Do you realize that right now, the Philippines, they are selling art.
So much.
And they are just known because of art. And eventually, they will sell another product. But that product will come we'll find it easier to sell simply because art has already created a soft what ground.
And to add on it, you can influence the entire world through art. The Americans becoming superpower before even them making it to that level. They could show you through their art.
Exactly.
We're having one commando that can kill 1,000 people from Vietnam. And you wonder, and from the art what I see, I will automatically think that's what's happening. That's why how they started conquering the entire market. Look at most of the...
My man, but in Nigeria itself, they marketed soccer. And when soccer was deteriorating, they pushed art. You understand?
Okay.
And Nigeria remained at the top because of art. You know Nigeria because of art.
Because of art.
You understand?
Never knew it was all about
when you talk
art,
about
it was
Tanzania, they will tell you Diamond Platnumz.
music. Art.
When you but now when you talk about Uganda, then they look up.
Uganda
They
is
talk
all
about.
what?
I know. I don't want to go on that. They will talk about a political leader
I understand.
and what something like that. So what you market outside is what they portray you. Is you know what?
Now, I would like for your side to conserve the theaters in Jinja. What would you say to be able to conserve them?
How to be able to conserve them? One, I'm advocating for regional theater.
A regional theater.
Every
region should have
at
a
least,
theater.
That's what I should say. I'm advocating for regional theater. The government has got the capacity to put up something similar to the national theater.
Okay.
In Busoga sub-region
And better.
or in other what?
Any other region.
Or any other region. I'm not talking I'm just looking at Busoga simply
But
because
even
it's
other
where
regions,
I know.
yeah.
But they can put it in Bunyoro or any other region. They can put it in Igulu or any other region as long as they are developing theater and they are conserving our arts. Because as an artist, I'll be very, very proud to go to Jinja and be recognized, go somewhere where I'm going to seek awareness.
Meaning after the regional theaters, you come to the national theater.
Then you come to national theater. And by the way, the national theater is like you're going to Makerere University in Uganda.
Definitely.
You understand? It's like you are reaching Makerere because it is still the Makerere, I think, is still number one.
But
and to enlighten more on its conservation, I could appeal to the government to help those people who are holding the theaters, because some of the people, they started their own theaters, yeah, and at times they can't manage them due to taxes and so on, but they can help them financially to say that at least they can, as we give tax holidays to different companies that are starting, we can also give them tax holidays. If it needs, they can give them a hand in developing the infrastructure, because some people are ready, they have the heart for art.
But you're talking about the heart of art.
Some people look at how Katol Bwama was doing his own things, in that he had also started a television station that was showcasing art. But at times, artists are failed by the taxes, whereby if you give, even investors, people are ready to give in, but they need at least government's arm. As we give tax holidays to these people who manufacture other things, we can do the same thing to people who are developing art.
Okay, for that side, I do understand what you're trying to estimate. But we have also an issue between the artists. The one who is on top never allows the rest to go on top. Isn't it also that you, the artists, you have made...
It's never a concern, because the one on top, like I could ask you, beside that, how can the artist who's on top fail infrastructure?
This is
whereby also is feeding. And I said that I'll fail national theater because I don't love so and so. It is that is
they are fighting.
That is minor. Those fights are all over. Even in local government, they are there. Everywhere there.
Let me explain it this way. You know, competition is healthy. Even when you are 16, you can still compete with one of 18 in art. You understand? You have to keep pushing, because the more you stay in the system, the more you are expected to produce good quality work. My argument is like in this way. The policy maker has looked at art as a tool for either fighting the industry itself. So they are using maybe the arts themselves. They are using the arts themselves, divide and rule, because they know, art is power. theater is power. They know we are very, very powerful. So if they just leave us to move smoothly, you understand?
Okay.
They will have no direction of us. But to be sincere, if there is a censor system, that censor system in place, they can still control us and not just leave the industry to die. You understand? If they want to control, let them put a censor system in place. You understand? So as whatever you're going to put on the stage is looked at before you can give it to the what? To the mass or to the audience. You understand? Other than just trying to fight, neglecting, and also, you see, underfunding. It is a very, very big sector. It can uplift this nation. It can put Uganda in number 1.
Okay.
Because we have got over 60 tribes. So we have got a lot of content to sell outside.
Meaning, for so far, for the conservation, what we all have, we have to know how to build up the regional theaters.
Yes, I'm advocating
and also
for
less
regional
taxes.
theaters.
So far,
Different policies.
Different
Because
policies
for
need
me,
to be
for me, what
changed.
I normally tell the government, these handouts don't help. They help me as an individual. If I come and you give me like $1 billion
Yes.
as an individual, it will help me. If you give me a studio as an individual, it will help me. But it won't help art in general. Because if you set a policy, like already we have copyright, but we need it to be implemented and we need it to be amended. You get it? To be day to day. Because the copyright system we are using, it's way back. Let us amend it and we support artists. Though it might not bring a lot, but it helps artists. You get it? So the policies help a lot. For the Greeks, they have democracy. That's what I normally say. The Greeks have democracy. The Asians, plus also those from West, the West here,
that's how you're.
the Westerners, they have what we call technology. All we have as Africa, it is our art. That's all we can sell to them.
Okay.
We should use our art to sell.
As we are winding up, anything?
Well, my cry is rehabilitate the National Theatre to its original standard, or even let it be more okay or better than it was before. It should be revitalized. Secondly, put down taxes and understand the value of art so that other theater houses can function freely. Number 3, whoever is concerned, or other policymakers, let them think about regional theater development, because there are so many talented boys, young boys and girls who can't make it to Kampala, and their content is dying. You understand? Their talent is what is dying. But when there's a policy in place, people are going to be pushed. Let the essential system be in place. If they are afraid of what people are going to bring on the stage, you understand. As I wind up, my name is Baba Ngobi. I'm an artist. I'm an actor with the Legends of Theatre Association. I'm a musician. I'm also a community mobilizer. Yeah, it has been a very good afternoon with your viewers. Thank you, and see you next time Wednesday, same time.
Do you have anything as we wind up?
Yeah, my closing remarks. Yeah, it goes to the entire youth and us in art system. Let's not give up. We should keep on knocking day in, day out. The more we knock, they will open one day. You never know. Tusigalenga tulumba, tujja wangula lazima.
Thank you.
Tokowa.
Thank you very much.
Work on your talent this spring and also stay believing in yourself.
Amen. This has been Theatre Sport, and thanks for watching. Would like to know, do share, comment, subscribe, don't forget. So far for now, conserve our theatre. It's been Queen Lucky Luck. Till we meet next time, Wednesday, 2 p.m. exactly. Bye-bye.
Today or